Welcome to the webinar. My name is Mehmet. We will start with a short introduction to who we are. It's going to be very short, and then we will go forward with the presentation that we have prepared for you. As mentioned, my name is Mehmet. I'm working as a strategic account manager at iPaper. That means basically that I have responsibility for key clients at iPaper, creating customer journeys in the digital catalog, and also guiding them towards how to go from print to digital in the whole process of the leaflet strategy they have. So I can give you some insights and some experience of what I have worked with other clients in Europe, Middle East, and Latam. So this is me. And beside me, this is Hannes. Hannes is our VP of marketing.
Hi, everyone.
And he's going to help me with the technical stuff here. We actually had a webinar for 2 months ago where we had a lot of questions, which was really great. And this is going to be Hannes, who's going to prioritize the questions and ask them at the end of the webinar, so we can actually all together answer them.
Yeah, so while Mehmet is doing his presentation, feel free to just write in any questions. I will make sure that they come in, and I will feed them through at the right times. So yeah, feel free to just write at any point that you want. We will make sure to take the questions. That will answer them in the end.
Yes, perfect. Also, one more information. During the webinar, there will be some polls questions, and we will guide you in which slide it's going to be, etc. This is basically for making the webinar much more attractive for you, so you also can see real data, real-time data, and you will see what we mean when we come to that slide. Just so you don't get surprised about that some questions popping up in your screen during the webinar, basically. So with those words, let's get started.
Can you share screen?
No, I can't. I will just share my screen.
It's another one.
No.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Like this.
Yes.
And I'm going to put this one here. Oop.
By the way, if during the presentation, anytime something is wrong or there is some technical problem, just write to me and I'll make sure that we address it.
Perfect. So this webinar is about how you can get more out of your digital catalogs. And at iPaper, we have been working with digital catalogs for 17 years and have connections to many key clients and retail leaders generally in Europe, Middle East, and Latin American market. So that means we gathered all the information that would be beneficial for our future clients or just the retail industry generally. So let's look into the agenda for today. First of all, I will start by gathering and give you some information from our survey, which is the state of printed promotions, which is a survey we conducted actually in Europe in 8 different countries, asked over 7,000 shoppers about their opinion and usage of the leaflet. It's going to be really, really short, and I'm going to give you just the key takeaways from the survey. Afterwards, we're going to go deeper into how we work with the digital catalogs at iPaper. We have something called the store metaphor. And after that, we will show you in practice one of our clients, how they actually implemented all the suggestions from our side in terms of digitalizing the catalog, the leaflet. At the end, there is a section called iPaper value creation. And this is basically all the resources that we have at iPaper that we also can share with you. I will also mention this in the end slide in the iPaper value creation. We would like to know what you need in terms of where you are in your journey from print to digital, so we can be much more beneficial in terms of sending you the materials that you need. And you will also see that in the last slide that I will also go deeper into it. So let's get started. Survey, the state of printed promotions. As mentioned, we were in Europe asking over 7,000 shoppers in 8 different countries, which is Denmark, Spain, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, France, Poland, and Hungary. And we asked over 7,000 shoppers about their usage, their opinion, and how they think and feel about the printed promotions in general. Because we believe that going from print to digital is a process. And without knowing why the printed promotions are working so well or have worked so well in 40, 50, 60 years almost, without knowing that, you cannot fully digitalize your catalog in terms of adding the assets, the inspiration that your customer actually wants. What do they search for in the printed promotions? That will give us indication of what we should add into the digital catalogs. So let's go forward here. This is the overall usage in different markets in Europe. As you can see, just to give you an overview how you can read this chart here. In Italy, for example, there is 66% of people, they are actually using the leaflet a couple of times a week. And there is 19% of people using it a couple of times a month. Less often is 11% and never is 3%. What we see in these 8 different countries, and the pattern is the same actually, that we see that printed promotions, catalogs, and leaflets are actually more often used a couple of times a week or daily than it's never used. So you actually can see the data of the never, the black one, the black column here, is so low in every single country except Denmark, because Denmark is actually a digitalized country, very, very digitalized country. So that could be the affection of it. But we see a pattern in whole Europe in terms of the connection to the printed leaflets. Let's go forward to the key takeaways from this survey. I'm not going to mention all of them. You can actually read it yourself, but I'm going to go deeper into the first point here. Printed promotions are still deeply embedded into shopper behavior. That's why that is actually what we see in the first slide also, in terms of that they are using it a couple of times a week and daily, etc. I'm also going to mention that retailers should actually consider what channels they use to communicate their promotions and deals, etc., when going to the digital version. And we also gathered some data on what works for the consumers, what works for the shoppers. Last but not least, shoppers, they prefer moving to a familiar format of the use of the printed promotions, the catalog itself. So when going to the digital version from the print, you have to think about the familiar version of the catalog itself. The next slide here is actually a sum up of the European Shopper Survey, because the conclusion of the European Survey or the purpose of the survey actually was that we wanted to find out what shoppers and consumers actually want in a digital catalog. Once we find that out, we needed to go out there in Europe and analyze the 800 retailers approximately and looked into their digital catalogs and what they offer in a digital catalog actually. So we want to compare the data of what retailers offer and what shopper wants in a digital version of the catalog. And that will give us an indication to know what to add in the digital catalog to make it more experienced for the customers.
And one of the things that Mehmet will be talking about now is only some of the highlights of the survey we have done. We also, in the end of the webinar, you'll be able to request to get the full survey if you really want to dive into all the separate findings yourself. But we'll just make sure that we cover the most important points.
Yes. In the next slide, we will just show you a slide here just to explain the overall, because in a moment you will get a poll question, so we can have real-time data of the attendees and what you actually offer in your digital catalog also. So transitioning into the digital version of the catalog means basically that you have to add some certain things. And we have asked the shoppers in the European Shopper Survey what they want in a digital catalog. In the red section here, you can see the amount of the people, of the shoppers, of what they want in a digital catalog, and the black column is actually what retailers offers in Europe, those 800 retailers that we actually surveyed and analyzed the catalog of. So Hannes, if you can just set the poll live and our attendees can answer what you actually offer in your catalogs at the moment. Do you have search in catalog? Do you show product variants, or do you have additional content in your catalogs? Then we can also show you real-time data of the attendees, because we actually have many retailers from Europe in this.
And don't worry, the answer is of course completely anonymized. It's just for us to know kind of where the market is and where our attendees are with their catalogs. See some questions coming in, some answers already.
Perfect.
I'm just going to run for a little bit longer before we share.
Yeah. Cool.
Shall I just?
I'm just going to move.
I can share, but it's not live, so they don't see it yet.
Okay, perfect. So
just a second.
I can just give you an overview why you're answering the question. What we see in this slide here is what retailer offers and what shopper wants. For example, allow search in the catalog. 56% of the shoppers, they actually want to have the opportunity for searching in the catalog, searching for a certain product or certain deal, etc. 30% of the retailers in Europe offering that in their digital catalog at the moment. Show product variants. Of course, depending on the product that you sell and the market, the industry that you are in, etc. Sometimes it makes sense to show the product variants, sometimes it doesn't. For example, a supermarket doesn't have to show the variants of banana, but a electronic store or DIY store it will be beneficial to show the variants, the colors of the product itself. 3% of the retailers in Europe actually showing the product variants, while it is 43% of the shoppers actually they want to see the product variants in the catalog itself. Additional content, again, we see the same pattern. There is a highly need and want from the shopper side, but only 5% of the retailers is actually offering this data here.
I can share the results of the poll. There we go.
See it?
Yes.
Yes. So as we can see, there is 61% of the of you who have actually answered. They say we actually allow search in the catalog. That's pretty good when comparing into the data here. 56% of shoppers, they want that. And 61% of you have also said that you show product variants. That's also pretty good. And also 61%, that's quite interesting, actually.
That's really good. And it also actually means if you compare the general in Europe compared to the people here, it actually means also that a lot of you are already on this path of using digital catalog in a way that the shopper actually wants you to use. So that's really, really good to see.
It's perfect. So we're going to do another test here.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing. That's perfect. I'm going to go a little bit forward.
Yeah.
This is just for, getting the idea of what shoppers actually want to be inspired by in the digital catalog. But we also need to know that we also want to convert the shoppers while they're in the digital catalog. So we needed to find out how the shoppers want to convert from the catalog itself. So looking into this data is the same structure. Hannes will actually set the poll live right away. And we can talk about the general statistic of the market in the industry at the moment. So a lot of the shoppers, they actually want to create a shopping list in the digital catalog, and they want to be able to find the nearest store, perhaps maybe because they want to get this shopping list and go to the store and buy the products. They actually also want to buy directly from the digital catalog, and they want to be able to share the catalog and the shopping list perhaps with their friends, families, in terms of shopping experience. So I would just give you 15-20 seconds to answer the questions here. Do you offer those things in your digital catalog? Do you offer those things that shopper wants? The elements that you see on your screen in your digital catalog yourself? I can see some answers coming in actually.
Yeah.
And it's all anonymously, just to show you an idea about real-time data about how is the industry actually performing in terms of digitalization of the parental leaflets.
I think we can end the poll and share results. I'll just share them with you. There you go.
Perfect. So 36% of you have said that you actually offer to create a wish list. And it's actually a tricky one because I have seen a lot of retailers offering the creating a wish list in the website itself, but there's also an option to create a wish list in the digital catalog. So I don't know if you have compared those two things, but what we mean here is actually creating a wish list within the digital catalog without going to the web shop or website. And 12% of you have actually said that you show the nearest store, which is actually pretty low than if we compare it to the data of the what shopper wants actually, which is the 49%. And this means basically that your digital catalog is not only, but it's primarily supporting the e-commerce store of your current business. Being able to show in the nearest store will make it available for the clients to see the nearest store and go to the physical store and do the shopping there also. So digital catalogs not only are a tool that could support your e-commerce store, but it should also be a tool that you use to support your physical stores in terms of drive traffic to it.
Yeah, especially if you look at like what shoppers want, like being able to find the nearest store, making a wish list. These are all primarily features that people use offline, and making that connection with the two is super important. And it's something that in a lot of cases is kind of forgotten compared to driving the e-commerce or driving the online sale.
Yeah.
And
this is the dilemma, right?
Exactly.
When you go from print to digital, the idea about printing catalogs was drive traffic into the stores.
Yeah.
And when we actually think of a digital catalog, then automatically the human brain thinks of driving traffic to the e-commerce.
Exactly.
But you can actually use the digital catalog in both terms. This is actually what shopper actually wants.
Exactly.
Third one is buying directly from the catalog itself, and it is 48%. It is almost the same as the shopper wants. It's perfect. I'm not going to comment on it. And sharing the catalog and with friends and families, etc., is 68%.
Yeah.
As we can see, and it's only 35% of the shoppers who actually wants that. So again, this is a good thing that you make it available for sharing, but sharing is also conducted by, is it the catalog that you want to share, or is it the shopping list that you want to share? Based on the shopping experience that you want to offer your customers, and based on your products and customer journey in your company, you have to consider to either share shopping list or just share the catalog link itself. It is depending on the KPI that you have. If you use the digital catalogs as a marketing tool itself, then sharing the whole thing will be a beneficial thing. But if you use it as something else, which is like e-commerce tool or something different in terms of your KPI, then it will make sense to share particular product offer or particular shopping list that customer creates in the catalog itself.
So sharing now we can go further with the presentation.
Perfect. So this is actually what shopper wants. And at the moment, the pattern we see is that retailers doesn't offer what shopper actually wants in Europe in general, in those 8 countries, 800 retailers that we analyzed. In iPaper, we work a little bit differently. We look at the digital catalog journey as a store metaphor. And what we mean by store metaphor is that we divide the journey into 4 phases. And the first phase is the attraction phase. Secondly, the inspiration. Third, intention. And fourth, conversion. Think about this. If you have a store, it doesn't matter what kind of store it is. It can be a sandwich bar, but it can also be a supermarket. It can also be a DIY. You have to gather some kind of traffic into your store. You have to somehow inspire the customers, guide the customers towards the shelves, towards the right products. You have to create an intention to buy the product, for example, add it to the basket, or the guidance they get from the inspiration. It's going to create some kind of craving for buying the product. And at last, you want them to go to the cashier and actually buy the product. This is how it goes in the store itself. And we think about digital catalogs the same way. You have to attract some kind of traffic into your digital catalogs, and you have to inspire your customers during the journey in the digital catalog. You have to create some kind of intention. It can be, adding the product in the basket or just sign up for something, depending on your KPI. And you have to convert them. And this conversion can be different variations. And I will go deeper into each and every phase in a moment. So we can actually start by attraction.
Yeah.
Do you want to add something?
Well, the main thing I want to add here as well is that while we focus on the 4 things separately, it's also very important to connect them in different ways, because sure, you can be good at attraction, you can be good at driving perfect conversions, but how do you guide the shopper through all these phases in a seamless way? And that is, like, to us, the challenge we try to address with catalogs.
Exactly. And we can actually showing you the shopping journey in practice in the later slides.
Yeah.
So you can see, if you are a certain retailer, how you can use those assets in terms of how you can inspire, how you can create intent, and how you can actually convert also from the digital catalog itself. Let's start with the attraction phase. Attraction is actually driving traffic into your digital catalogs. But first of all, the question is, why should we drive traffic into the digital catalogs? So if we just scroll back and go back to our European shopper survey, just a second, we actually asked the shoppers, those over 7,000 shoppers in 8 different countries, we asked them concretely, if the printed leaflet was not an option, how do you think it will impact your activity of the remaining channels? And of course, all the online channels will be impacted. It will have a positive impact. But we see a huge impact on the digital catalog and leaflets. And this was the key takeaway that I showed in the beginning of the European shopper survey, because shopper actually want and prefer a familiar version in the digital version as the printed catalog. So this gives us indications to why you should create traffic into your digital catalog and leaflets in general. But how can you do it? So in the next slide here, I'm going to show you just a couple of ideas of what our customers is doing at the moment, but what you should also consider applying into your version of the digital catalog. First of all, publishing it in your website and app is a must, as we see it. You have to go in and create some banners in your website, basically make awareness of your existing traffic. To go into the digital catalog and look at the offers, look at go through the digital catalog journey, because now you have actually a digital version of the catalog that you have used time for, putting it live in your website and app. And by that, we also mean that you have to go in and create some pop-ups, sending the digital catalog with a newsletter. Your current existing clients have to know about the digital catalogs. And there is a main reason for these attraction strategies here. The reason is that we want to change the shopper behavior towards using the digital version of the catalog instead of the printed promotions. The whole idea about creating attraction into the digital catalog is because if we can change the usage of the shoppers to use the digital catalogs instead of the printed promotions, that means internally in the companies itself that you can actually reduce the print a little bit and increase the affection of the digital catalog at the same time. And it will take some time, and it's a process. We know that.
Yeah, even like using newsletter, creates a similar feeling of what some of the shoppers who use a printed catalog right now have. Every week they get the catalog with the print leaflet or the print catalog with all of the deals in it. We can translate that quite easily into a newsletter where every week there will be the latest deals sent to you in digital catalog. And that way, again, you create this transition to a familiar format.
This is the VP of marketing talking here. Whenever we say email marketing, you're right on the
right there.
Perfect. So secondly, we're going to talk about the social media strategy. This is actually a strategy that we see a lot of our clients are using. They are making frequently organic posts on their social media. It can be the Meta, Facebook, Instagram. It can also be TikTok. I have recently seen TikTok, social media strategy from actually the example that I'm going to show you later in the slides here. Paid campaigns with specific audiences, you can actually promote your digital catalog into this strategy also. Thirdly, I'm not going to mention all the bullet points, but you can actually read it. And of course, we're going to send this and share this slides with you after the webinar also. You can dig deeper into it. Thirdly, you also have to consider that you actually prepare the digital catalog with text, images, and there is a lot of usable assets in the digital catalog itself. So you have to remember that you can activate the SEO in your digital catalogs. which means that you don't have to pull your digital catalog from, making it offline again. Just leave it online, because those texts is going to actually help you drive traffic into your store in the long term, which is if you use the same search words in the description, in the title, in the description, etc., it will help you a lot. Again, Google Ads is something that we often see our clients using for getting attraction from the clients into the digital catalog. In terms of Google Ads, you can use two different strategies here. You can actually have the banner and show your digital catalog and hope for that there will be some clicks and they will drive traffic into the digital version. But you can also be more creative and just publish your digital catalog so it's actually searchable, not searchable. How can you say it? You can actually go from slide to slide in digital catalog. So the viewer itself can be shown in the Google Ads also.
Yeah, you're talking about the Google banners, right? So basically,
yeah, exactly.
You create a banner where the catalog is shown in the banner itself. So all of the. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's Google Display, basically.
Yes, what exactly. I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
So you can actually create a catalog journey within the Google Display world without that customer have to click and go away from the journey that they are in that site they're actually in. Fourth strategy is offline and online disconnection. As mentioned before in the poll also we did, there was only 12% of you that said that you are actually showing the nearest store in your digital version of the catalog. We will highly recommend that you show the nearest stores, if you have stores, of course, to make this offline and online connection better. Because the whole idea about digitalization of the printed leaflet is actually, reducing the print in the long term and getting the digital catalog version much higher in the terms of usage from the consumer end. And in terms of that, using the digital catalog can be used as digital catalogs can be used as through the QR codes that you can publish in the entrance of your stores. It can also be published with an in-store screen. I have also seen some clients having basically an iPad in the entrance of the store to just show the digital catalog, and consumers can create the wish list and send that into their WhatsApp, phone number, email, so they have the wish list ready when they enter the store itself. The whole idea here with the offline online disconnection is that you have to think about how you can use the digital catalogs to drive traffic or support the traffic in your physical stores also. Let's go back to store metaphor. We just talked about how you can attract people into your digital catalog. The section that we're going to talk about right now is the inspiration. It's not enough to create some kind of traffic into your digital catalog if there is no inspiration in it and if there is no purpose in their journey, basically. But again, we needed to find out what the shopper actually wants in a digital catalog. And this data, we find that out in the European Shopper Survey, where we actually asked them, what features of digital catalog and leaflets do shoppers find the most valuable compared to the printed version? And in this data here, you can see that 47% of the shoppers, let's take a mark it here, 47% of the shoppers, they actually want to find the nearest store in the catalog. 48%, they actually want to see multiple versions of each product. 46% want to browse and purchase products directly from the leaflet. 41, personalized offer based on your information. 38, showing extra content such as video, images, infographics, depending on your product, of course. It can be, if you are a supermarket, it can be some recipes on how you can cook with that certain meat. Or if you are an electronic store, it can be some guidance into the details of that certain product there is in the digital catalog.
Yeah. I think in general, people really want to have using the benefit of having a digital catalog, right? It shouldn't just be the same version as what you offer in print, but people actually want to have more information in there. Where can I find your store? More pictures, more information, all this kind of stuff. That is really what people are looking for.
But also in terms of that, it gives us also the indication to, the idea about tracking the attraction from the consumer, right?
Yeah.
So we actually have the data on what they click on, what they
Exactly.
like, which video they watched, etc. So we can enrich the digital catalogs much more.
And that's also because every retailer is different. So shoppers will want different things. For example, probably a electronics store will be a lot more focused on like the nitty-gritty details of the product, while supermarkets will be all about wish lists. So it's different things for different retailers, but you need to try and see and follow data afterwards.
And it's also depending on your focus and how you want to inspire your clients in general. So we will just shortly give you an example of, this is just a demo created by our UX designers to show you how you can actually create some kind of inspiration in your digital catalogs. So as you can see in the example on the right side here, this is a digital catalog shown in iPaper Viewer. It doesn't matter if it's iPaper or you use another tool, but the whole idea is creating some kind of inspiration. In that example on the right side, you can see that you can click a CTA on the catalog itself, and there will be some recipes on the left side with a banner. There is some videos, background images to make the digital catalog more alive, basically. So the 4 points on the left side, which is the how you can inspire your customers, is that you can add information about your nearest store, which is the small banner down here in the digital catalog. I don't know if you can see it on your screen. This is maybe too small. Secondly, present product variants in the digital catalog if it's necessary for your product category. Add icons, animations to gain interest and to make your consumers aware of that this is a clickable CTA in the digital catalog itself. And of course, provide extra content, videos, GIFs, images, etc. I know that a lot of retailers are actually, in omni-channel. So they are making some videos for YouTube. They are making some GIFs, images, videos for the social media, etc. You can actually use your digital catalog as a collector of all these assets, because all these assets is actually related to your deals, promotions, and prices. So why not collect it into your digital catalog and make your digital catalog more digital and give that a purpose, basically. This is what we will recommend in terms of how you can inspire your customers in the digital catalog. If we go back to the store metaphor, the third section is the intention section. How do we create an intention? How do we make sure that this inspiration that we give to our clients is not just wasted? Again, we go back to the shopping survey to find out what the shoppers actually want in the digital catalog. Like, what do they want to achieve when they enter the digital catalog journey? They want to find the nearest store. Again, this is appearing every single slide that I'm showing you. This is very, very important. They want to create some kind of wish list, shopping list, and they will also want to browse and purchase product directly from the leaflet itself. They want to receive the catalog and leaflets directly in the mail inbox, the topic that Hannes also mentioned. But this gives me an indication to not only, they want to receive it in the mail inbox, but this can also be the data we can use to tell you, that you should actually have some kind of sign up for newsletter message in your digital catalog, so you can collect those emails if the shopper wants to get the catalog in the email inbox, basically. Last but not least, sharing the promotions with friends and families is also a bullet point here. Let's go forward and show you the example here. So in terms of creating an intent, you have to consider to have some kind of shop integration to make it possible to buy the products directly from the catalog itself. In the video here, you can see that there is a product being added to the basket on the right side, which means that now you have a separate basket in your digital catalog. And I don't know what tool you're using, but this can be implemented in many tools if you like, and you can also just write to us if you want to see live examples of customers using that in terms of supporting the wish list, the shopping list feature here. Secondly, If you have some kind of click and collect strategy in your company, this can be implemented into this catalog. So it has a purpose. So it creates an intent. Shopping list, customers should be able to create the wish list itself in the catalog itself. So not only in your web shop or website, but the catalog has to provide some kind of shopping journey, some kind of end-to-end shopping journey. Sharing should be possible. And by sharing, this is what I meant in the beginning when I showed you the data, when we compared what retailers offer and what shopper wants. Sharing means sharing the catalog or sharing the shopping list itself. As you can see on the example in the video here, the catalog has a function called WhatsApp. So that means I can actually share the shopping list through WhatsApp with Hannes, if he's the person who's going to go to the store and buy the products. But if I'm a digital person, I want to actually share the catalog, the whole catalog, by link, or in the bottom up here, you can see there's a share button here. If I want to share the whole catalog with Hannes, that means I can click on Facebook, and it will connect me to the Facebook, and I can actually share it with Hannes right away in there. Last but not least, you can see in the example here, in the down below, in the corner here, it says become a member. This could also be sign up for a newsletter. The idea is about showing you this feature here is basically that you can add some kind of pop-ups into your digital catalogs in terms of making it more engageable.
Yeah. And we also think about intent in a wider range than you can, of course, see intent as, okay, the person wants to buy or wants to get a wish list about things they want to get right now. But what about next week or the week after? To create some sort of intent in terms of like receiving these promotions again and again is also part of intent. Thinking your conversions a bit wider than just the pure sale. Maybe don't make a sale this week, but next week they might come back and look again.
Yeah, the purpose of the digitalization of the leaflet is generally, driving traffic from driving consumers from using the printed leaflet into the digital version.
Yeah.
So if they keep coming into the digital version, that means we are starting to create some kind of habit, and the sales will come either in your stores or e-commerce if you just create this habit of getting back into the digital catalog. Okay, let's go back to the shopping journey or metaphor, the store metaphor. So now we have talked about how you can attract traffic into your digital catalogs, how you can inspire your shoppers, how we can create some kind of content. But last but not least, if there is no conversion with all these assets that we use, it's not worth it. So there have to be some kind of conversion. In terms of digital catalogs conversion, there is actually 3 types of conversion that you can use. And those 3 types of conversion is online purchase, which is basically shop integration. You can connect your digital catalog into your checkout system in your web shop. So whenever a customer clicks on something, you can add it directly into your web shop basket, or you can create the basket in the digital catalog itself, as you can see in the image on the right side, and then make a shop integration, which means a CTA that will connect the shoppers into your web shop checkout system.
Mm-hmm. We also have setups where the leaflet basically is placed on the website, and any product you add doesn't get added to our checkout, but to the one of your store already.
So basically, it's iframed in that certain page. So it's connected. It's a part of your web shop itself. Again, if this is necessary for you, let us know. We can send you live examples of clients using exactly that option, so you can actually see and be inspired by it. Secondly, social sharing, WhatsApp, social media, etc. And this also means the sharing of the shopping list itself. And I see that quite often, not in the retail world, but I see that actually in direct selling industry a lot, that WhatsApp and social media, social sharing, etc., is actually connecting the products you have in the shopping list as an order to that specific salesperson, which is going to buy the product and send it to them. This is not related to retailers, but what we can say about retailers, how retail industry can use this social sharing, is basically that in terms of supporting your your physical stores in terms of driving traffic into those. It means a lot that a person can create a shopping list and send it to the wifey or the husband, whomever is going to go there and buy the products, basically. And this is what we mean by the store checkout. So this is the conversion part you can do. So if we look at the catalog itself, I think we have some kind of poll here, right? Yeah, perfect. If we look in the catalog itself, as mentioned, the store metaphor makes it easier for us to understand which elements that we have to add into the digital catalogs in terms of reaching to the successful version. You have to some kind of have traffic strategy. You have to some kind of, when the customer comes into the store or when the customer comes into the digital catalog, you have to show them some kind of inspiration. It could be a video. Maybe they go forward and they see some kind of information about a TV or radio or, you know, whatever the product you have in your digital catalog. Perhaps they are thinking they want to go to the store and buy the product, so they see the nearest store and they maybe add the product directly into the basket in the catalog itself, maybe sign up for a newsletter, and then they can check out by going to the store itself or buying the product directly in your e-commerce setup. So right now, this is just an overall idea, the store metaphor, what we work with iPaper and how we guide our customers. The poll will come up and you can just launch it and I can explain what it is. We want to know real-time data of where you think, how you can rank your catalogs, basically, in terms of performance in each stage. So we can also share the knowledge with you right now in terms of how you actually implement or what you implement in your digital catalogs. Can they see this one?
Yes. Well, no, they can't.
Okay.
We just have the poll open right now, so you will see only your answers, and then afterwards we'll share it with you.
Perfect.
Basically, yeah, on each of the 4 different stages, just give us an idea of, could it be better? Are you actually doing quite good, or do you think you have full-on control over, or like perfect setup in this stage? And we have some answers already coming in, I see. That's great.
I think you have to help me with reading this data here. So
yeah, I will. Well, once we share it, but basically,
this is very interesting, I think.
Yes. Now we're just teasing everybody, like, oh, this is our amazing results. They cannot see it.
We can see the results.
We can see the results. All right, we have some. Just giving it like maybe 10 more seconds. We have about half of you who have responded, so that's perfect. 60% actually.
But the overall store metaphor gives you an indication to where you can actually go in and implement different elements of your omnichannel activities into your digital catalogs.
All right. There we go. So basically what you see here is the light blue is people who are saying that could be better in their catalog, could be better in this stage. Blue is we're doing good, and orange is we're doing very good in this stage.
So attraction phase could be better, but again, I understand that the 4th part of the store metaphor is actually highly, how can you say, attractive for you, the conversion page, because we are all looking for the conversion, looking for the KPIs, etc. So of course, the conversion could be better. It can always be better.
Sharing the results, so now
they're
coming true.
Now you can see it.
Yes.
So this is what I mean. You know, the could be better part in the conversion phase is very, very high. And we do understand that. Of course, we want the conversion, the KPI is there, and it can always be better. But the fact is that what is interesting for me is that a lot of you actually think that the attraction phase is good at the moment.
Up to very good even.
Up to very good even, yeah.
I think it's also interesting if you look at these results, it's kind of classically what we also see with a lot of people where, okay, we have the digital catalog, we want to show it and we want people to go to it and see the results. And we think we're pretty good at inspiring, but we really need help with how do we then turn that inspiration or the people coming in into something tangible, right?
What I face in my meetings with retailers in general, actually, the topic actually changing quite often when you talk with a person which is responsible for the store marketing, and when you talk with a person who's responsible for the digital e-commerce or digital marketing part. The mainly difference here is basically when you talk about attraction, drive traffic into the digital catalogs. When we think about the printed promotions, a lot of retailers around Europe, around Denmark also, they're actually printing millions and millions of printed catalogs and leaflets and distributing it into the market. But when you talk with a digital person in a retail industry, digital marketing person, for example, they're actually satisfied with 100,000, 200,000 sessions per month in their digital catalogs. What we mean in iPaper and how we guide our customers is basically that you have to increase this attraction phase, the session number of your digital catalogs much higher than this 100, 200,000 in terms of reaching the same level, the same impact as the printed promotions, as the printed leaflets. So this is the key, that you can actually could be better at much more than you do today. What we see in the general market. Of course, I don't know your exact numbers. So if you want our guide and our version of what we think that you can implement and could do better in your digital catalogs, then we need to know a little bit more detail in your specific version, basically. Perfect. So I'm going to stop this. Oh, sorry. I'm going to stop this one. Okay, let's go back. So let's have an overview here. In the attraction phase, we do recommend that you use some kind of social media strategy and you push it on your website. You have to have some kind of integration to your app, newsletter, search engines, Google, Bing, etc. Use all the channels that you are actually in at the moment to gain some kind of traffic, because all the audiences is different. And the data that you gather in your digital catalogs will make it much easier for you to publish your future catalogs. Inspiration. Add the icons, GIFs, videos, product animations, product informations, product variants. Intention phase, create some kind of shop integration to your web shop, make it available to be shared in social media, and of course, also create some kind of shopping list in your journey, in the digital catalog journey. And the conversion part, make sure that your digital catalogs are supporting the e-commerce version of your business, but also the non-e-commerce version, which is the physical stores. Let's look into an example here, and I'm going to make it quite fast in terms of the time that we see. This store metaphor is used by many companies that is actually iPaper client at the moment, and we have many cases that you can look into and get inspired by in our website itself. I'm just going to dig deeper into one of them, which is the Koçtaş here. Koçtaş is a part of the Kingfisher Group, and in their digital catalog at the moment, we see that there is 3.9 times more pages seen per session in the catalog when comparing to the website, 2.2 times lower bounce rate, and 1.8 times more time spent. So that means the customers who comes to the digital catalog, they see more pages, they have a lower bounce rate, and they also spend more time in the digital catalog when comparing to some of the category pages and some of the product pages in Koçtaş's website. So let's look into what they do in their digital catalog at the moment. They have some kind of product animation and some videos implemented. As you can see in the background also, this is related to the DIY store. When you click on the shopping icon, there will be a product detail view where you can see the image, data, price of the product. Customers can add the product into the basket, and they have two options of checking out, which is the email checkout, and sepete, which means go to online shopping in Turkish, basically. You can see in every pages, there is one product which is actually created as a GIF to get attention. And as you also can see, you can also see the variants of the product, and you can connect the catalog directly into your web shop from the catalog itself. Now we are at the Koçtaş's website here. And again, this example will also be shared with you so you can experience it yourself.
Just to quickly follow up on one of the questions, I think is related to the example we're showing here. Somebody asked about that they sell sports products and they have sizing there. And how does that work? Is it possible to show different sizes?
Yes.
And take from there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
basically in iPaper, the little product detail view you see right now, there would be a view there where you can choose the different sizing.
I think the short answer here is that yes, it is highly important that you show the sizes to make the shopping journey convenience for the customers, for easy as possible. And there is many possibilities on how you can show it in the digital catalogs. At iPaper, we do it a little bit differently in terms of we look into your data and we take those data into your digital catalogs. And if you like to see an example or two, let us know in the feedback form at the end of the webinar. We can send you some examples specifically for your needs if you just give us some information about what you are searching for.
But yeah, as you say, a lot of depends on the data that you have as well, like how good is your product feed that you can connect to this catalog.
It doesn't have to be product feed, it can be something else.
Of course, you can also create it.
But again, not going into the technical part of it, but
I just get excited from all these questions. So
actually, I'm going to show you the example here. I'm going to stop the video here. So you can see in this product here, there's two variants. One of them is a white variant and the other one is a brown variant. So imagine this product being your product, which is the, what is it?
Oh, it was a
sportswear with the sizes. So whenever a customer clicks on a shopping icon, they can actually see the sizes of the product and they can choose the right size and add that into the basket. Yes. That's basically what the shopping journey is in your turn. Perfect. Let's look into what Kostas is actually adding into the digital catalogs. They actually do every single thing that we recommended in this webinar, except sign up for the webinar. Sign up for the newsletter. That is not a part of the journey. That is not a KPI in the digital catalog itself, because it's highly, how can you say, prioritized in the website in terms of getting the people to sign up to the newsletter. So it's not a part of the digital catalog. It's a strategic decision, but it's their decision. But the overall shopping journey in the catalog itself, it's actually supporting the online purchase, store purchase, and also social checkout, as you could see. So at iPaper, we do help a lot of clients, a lot of retailers in the whole world, basically. We are existing in 63 countries at the moment. So that means we have to somehow guide them towards the right solutions. And how we do that is basically based on the reports, the surveys, the journeys, the documents that we create and we share with the clients. And of course, I also want to share those documents with you. So in terms of, I'm going to show you in the next slide here, I'm going to show you documents. And after the webinar, there will also be some kind of feedback link sending to you, but we can also send that into the webinar, right?
I will send it as we show the resources, so you can always go in and select which ones you want.
The whole idea is basically that we want you to tell us what you want, which resources or document that you want from iPaper, so we can send you the relevant ones instead of sending a full mail with all the documents that will never be written. But you can actually choose yourself which document you want in your journey, what you need inspiration of, and let us know. Let's talk about the reports and how we create value for our clients in iPaper. So first of all, we always have some kind of proof of concept at iPaper. So if you have an idea as a client about does this work, does this function or this inspiration or this intention work with certain click and collect strategy, let's try it. Let's do a test. Let's do a proof of concept. So this is the ideology that we have. So if you need a proof of concept, please, in the link that will be shared, you can just share it, I think.
Yes.
Please let us know what you actually need in that proof of concept, or select the proof of concept, and we can actually reach out to you. Secondly, the shopper survey, the full survey, which I showed you a little bit of in the beginning of the webinar. If you want the full survey, let us know. You can get the full survey. The catalog benchmark data is the data from this 800 retailers that we analyzed, what they offer, what they do in the digital catalog, etc. If you need that, let us know. We will get that to you. Catalog adoption mapping is the comparison between what shopper wants and what retailers offers. And that thing, we can also send it to you if you want to. The growth framework is a way that we help our clients at iPaper. We have 5 or 7 different points that we guide our customers through, because we all know that every single client is in a different timeline, in a different zone in terms of going from print to digital. Some of you have maybe published just a PDF on your website, but some of you may have some kind of integration to your web shop already, etc. So we identify where you are and guide you towards how you can move a little bit upwards. So that guide we can also give you. Last but not least, it is not enough to have fully digital catalog. You have to have some kind of tactics on how to use the digital catalog in terms of the attraction phase. If you need that kind of inspiration, please select it on the link in the feedback form, and then we can actually send that to you right away. With those words, I'm actually done with the presentation now, and we have
nice. We have some questions we could dive into.
Yeah,
I think maybe we can just stop the share of the it goes straight to us.
I'm just going to say thank you for listening.
Yes. Oh, of course. Actually, this is also the end of the webinar. We will take some questions right now. I know that we're a little bit short on time, so of course, if you want, you can just leave now, and we will actually send you a recording of the webinar later if you have a meeting right after. But otherwise, we might go a little bit over time. I hope that's okay with everyone. We'll try to take a few questions, and any more questions come in, we will also follow up with you directly. I think one of the questions that I have that's interesting here was that the question about the data we presented in start, and how often users use the printed catalog and leaflets. How is that split out with age groups?
That's actually a pretty good question.
We don't have
I don't have the
slides in this webinar, but if you get access to the shopper survey, you will also see the split out per age.
I will recommend you to go into the feedback form and select the shopper survey, so you can actually get the full survey. You can see the ages, because the thought from the retailer side and direct selling, basically also companies, is basically that they think the digital catalog is used by younger persons and the printed catalog is used by the old generations. But this is not the case we see in the European Shopper Survey. So I will recommend you to go into the feedback link and please select the Shopper Survey, because as I remember, it's actually quite even in every single age group.
Exactly. And one of the interesting things we also saw was that younger people those that use the catalogs, they tend to use the catalog more daily compared to weekly or monthly. So there is some difference there that might surprise you. It's not just the older generation that are still using printed catalogs.
Exactly.
It is actually somewhat divided. Quite like, of course, an old generation is more using print catalogs, but it's not that big of a difference as you might think.
Exactly.
Another question here. There's some questions about iPaper, like how it works. One is, for example, is how do you show the nearest store in your catalog? How do I go about that? Is it a list, or do you connect Google Maps? For example,
there is many options for showing the nearest store in your digital catalog. I don't know your case, like your industry or the products that you share or your strategy in general, but you can show it with a pop-up. You can also show it with an external link from the catalog into your website or the Google Maps. You can actually, I know some of our clients is actually having some different leaflets in different geographical areas. So that means the person have to choose the geographical area. Whenever they click in the catalog, they have to, choose the geographical area, and then they will get access to the catalog itself. So there is different methods of how you can show the nearest store within the digital catalog, but also with an external link to your website. So yeah, I would recommend you to, click on proof of concept. Then we can look into your data and your case, and then we can create some kind of, demonstration for you to, show you exactly how you can show the nearest store in your case.
And that's also in general how at iPaper like to work. We like to make sure that we connect to whatever you're already using to show your stores, and integrate with that and make sure that that connection is as seamless as possible. So yeah, proof of concept is probably the best way to really figure this out. Maybe
I like this one.
yeah, maybe a fun question. I also saw the same one. On average, how many pages should a catalog have?
And that's a really, really good question. Again, depending on the industry you are in, if you're a supermarket, electronic, DIY, it's different based on the inspiration that you want to give, based on your current promotions. I have personally seen catalogs of 120 pages. I have also seen catalogs with 10 pages, and I have also seen catalogs with 70, 60 pages. There is no correct answer to that. But what we can say digitally, what digital catalog gives you an opportunity of tracking how many pages that consumer have seen. And we also, in iPaper, for example, we have something called heat map. So we can actually show you the clicks, the heat map version, like the heat map analysis of the catalog itself. So we know in the data itself, how many pages in average is seen by the consumer itself. Of course, in iPaper, we have some, the average of supermarket clients that we have, how many pages is actually being seen, and the DIY, electronics, etc. So I believe I'm very digital in those terms. So I like data. So I believe that you have to some kind of have indication from the data itself, how many pages your consumer is actually seeing in your catalog. And from that, then you can conclude what is best suited for my industry or my journey in the catalog itself.
Another thing that we also see with our customers is that it's not just about the amount of pages that you're showing, but it's also to kind of rethink what you're showing on each page. It's not always the same as a print catalog versus digital catalog. For example, think about what is the most seen pages on a print catalog. It's most likely the front and the back, right? But if you rethink that in digital way,
it's only front.
It's only front, and maybe the first page, right? So what do you show on those pages to kind of introduce people, or which promotions do you highlight? It can be very different. And again, yeah, that's where the data comes into play, in like which pages are being seen, where is the drop off, and when do we think we do reduce the amount of pages we show digitally?
I think what I can recommend you, I'm just gonna be sure here, just a second. I think what I can recommend you is go in there and in the feedback form and click on the global catalog benchmark data. Because if you do that, then I can send you the exactly average number of pages seen, time spent, etc. in every different segment that we have in iPaper. And you will have a better overview about, how many pages are we reaching for in your case.
Yeah. What I'm going to do now, I see that a lot of the questions that are in here are very specific. The last questions, it's a few left, are very specific to people's cases and product specific. So what I'll do is we will just follow up with those people individually. I think to make sure we have respect for the time of people. Or do you want to take one more? Maybe a last one?
I think I actually read some of the questions here, but it's very, very specific. And I will recommend, if you have a specific question, it will be very beneficial for both of us to go into the feedback form and just mark proof of concept. Because one thing is that we can talk about it, we can create some ideas about it. The other thing is actually showing you the proof of concept of how you can implement this in your digital catalog.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for example, one of them is like, how do you integrate a QR code that leads to a WhatsApp chatbot service? We can do this, but again, it will be a very specific setup that we need to do in order to even like to show you it. And it's just a million times more valuable to actually see it compared to me and Mehmet saying, yes, sure, you can do that. But
this is the short answer.
Yes, you can do it, but we want to show you how to do it. And I think with that, I think those questions we'll follow up with afterwards. And I think that is the webinar for today.
Perfect. Thank you for attending. And please, again, I'm going to promote the feedback form because it's highly important for us to know what you think of the webinar. Also, in terms of the the upcoming webinars that we're going to do. If you have some kind of question, some kind of area you want us to go in and investigate, and some kind of have a content for, please let us know. That will be highly beneficial for us to know what our consumers actually need from our side. With those words, I want to say thank you, Hannes.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to attendees, and I will end the webinar here.
Have a great day.
Thank you for attending. Thank you.
Bye.